Back to our pet peeve.
Back to the pet peeves and retails, and hey, thanks for the hearts. I don't even know how to go about approaching this. Why do you feel entitled to certain equipment in the store that no one else can use it? Um, I've never ever experienced this. I've never had somebody say, I told your guys they're not allowed to use my rolling ladder before. I didn't know that was a thing. It just annoyed me because up to that point, he'd get mad about little things, come over and he threw the other ladder down that they weren't using. They had a 6-foot ladder. They were using it to get some of the overstocks. Needed something off the higher overstocks, came and got the ladder. Came and got the rolling ladder. Well, he comes over, throws the old ladder down to the ground, and then comes to me and says, I told your guys not to use my rolling ladder. When I told him I took the rolling ladder because I had just gotten something down myself, he said, no, I went and took it back. And I said, no, I like 3 minutes ago, not even enough time for you to have done that. He said, no, I followed right behind you, and as soon as you left, I took it back. And then came back. He said, your guys came and got it and took it. And I told them they're not allowed to use my rolling ladder. And it just floored me, annoyed me, and it's the most annoying thing this week, for sure. Amongst other complaints he had and stuff like that. So that's my annoyance. Pet peeve was just like, you don't own the ladder, you don't own the department. Knock it off. Complain about people wasting time and being inefficient, yet you come over every 10 minutes telling me somebody's doing something that you disapprove of. Who cares? It's not your job to pay attention.
I understand. General entitlement. Everything's mine, and the world revolves around me.
Yep. If I saw it and I liked it, it's mine. It's toddler mentality.
Yeah.
Top that. Top that.
I can't. Because all of my current peeves and everything, I've already said, and they're still happening, because I'm still in hell right now for another like half a month. Maybe a little bit longer.
Can I go through a peeve?
You can have
for you.
You can have my spot.
Not doing things properly. You're not even going to address the overstock thing. None of the scanning in.
I'm saving it. I was going to yell at them tonight.
That's fine. But I'm going to bring it up to everyone watching.
In TV land.
In TV land and internet world. It's just annoying when 80% of your overstocks aren't scanned in after an evening of truck.
It's basic
job function.
I don't even know. Yeah, it's function. It's taught to do this for, what was it, like a week maybe?
I'm going to see if I can try to get a lot of people fired at one time. It may be a great mass exodus. Because I'm going to talk to our boss and see if I can say, you know what, if you do it again, that's one more. If it happens anytime after that, I'm going to send you home.
What was it, like a week that we didn't scan things in? Because it was Black Friday.
It was from Thanksgiving Day.
So we can't keep track of everything that might be getting pulled down to. So every bay was dumped. Then there was a designated day. I was off, so I had no idea this day occurred, apparently, which it didn't affect me because I was getting shit in anyway. But that somebody went through and scanned everything back in.
Right.
I was also told that this employee that did this, who, by the way, is the slowest human on earth, did it in record time, so I doubt that he did it right anyway, to begin with. But, they're either not scanning stuff in, or they're scanning it in wrong, or like I thought counting was a basic fundamental thing that you learn when you're a toddler.
I'm not even talking about that.
No, just
you're missing out.
That's one of
but
the.
You're not.
That's one of the things. Like it's a box that has 4 things in it. I'm gonna write a 1 on it.
It's one case, man.
I guess.
It's one case.
All right.
What's annoyed you since you are free from the scourge that we endure?
Mine is retail related, though.
This pizza was late one day.
Sadly, my pet peeve is still retail related.
One of these days it will not be.
Okay. Retail, you work with public, people know you work there. Even if it's not, like, even if it was an office environment, why do people feel the need to call you at home and ask you if you have things or something that relates to your job when there's a place of business that they can call? There's no reason for that. I don't understand why someone would call and ask if I have board games that are on sale.
Here's my question. How do these people have your number? Or is it family you're talking about?
I have a friend from martial arts. I mean, I wouldn't call him and ask him something. I don't think that people just think that because you work somewhere that they should be able to contact you for anything. Like you work there, so you're a slave to them, and that's not the case. I think that
DS is on sale.
We are kind of a slave to them.
I mean, I just hate that mentality. I don't think that's a fair way to treat people. If I knew somebody worked at if I knew someone worked anywhere, I wouldn't call them at home and ask them questions about their work. I would call the place of business because it's a place of business. You don't call your doctors at home. You don't call people at a restaurant at home and ask them what something is on their menu. Like, it's a place of business.
You tell me what your soup of the day today is going to be?
You don't call your doctor at home? I do all the time. My throat hurts.
I don't have a doctor.
I hate it. And it was like, hey, do you guys have this board game that's on sale? It's like, well, I quit there, so I don't know. Maybe you should call. But even when I was working there, it was like, there's tons of people who are there, who know our inventory right now, because they're there.
They can tell you.
Yeah, like, I can make something up because I'm not there and tell you that we do have it and drive up there.
Probably guess which one it was, and if you would have told them.
Why don't you do that? Hey, do you have this? Yeah, there's tons up there. Go get one now.
I thought it was kind of ridiculous.
There's no limit. Just buy them all.
It happens all the time, though. And I'm sure you guys have probably ran into it, where somebody has asked you about something at work, and it's like, well, why don't you just call the store? They'll tell you.
Besides a couple selective people that have asked me about like one thing in the past, and that was if I was out somewhere, or maybe they sent me a message online. The most I've ever got is like, well, what's the hot toy this year? I don't fucking know. I don't know what's popular. I don't know what kids want to play with.
I've had it before, and I know that it's happened.
I got asked once when I was in Arizona.
I don't get it.
Somebody found out when I was in Arizona where I worked and was like, oh, do you guys carry this? Oh, do you guys have this? It's like, I'm from the other side of the country. Yeah, we have it. I don't know if any of your 18 stores here have it. Like, thanks. You gonna travel to my side of the world?
It's odd, but anyway, common in retail.
Yeah.
So, wrestling topic this week: top 5 wrestlers. Do you know 5 wrestlers?
Wow.
I used to watch wrestling.
Okay.
And then he grew up and realized Santa Claus wasn't real.
Literally, like I can't even remember. I remember watching.
Sorry if I spoiled that for kids.
I used to always watch Nitro, and at some point, literally, it's like, this is stupid, and I stopped watching it.
It is the stupidest thing in the world to
I
watch.
can't.
It absolutely is.
It was years later that it just, at some point, like, people kept watching it. It dawned on me, it was like, when the hell did I just, like, I don't even remember, I just remember stopping. It's like, I'm good.
How many people would watch a football game if it were scripted and you knew who, and already determined who was going to win. Like,
have you never seen that South Park episode
no.
about the real wrestling? And like all the kids do it, and it's like a soap opera. So like Butter's name's like Triceratops, and he yells at Stan or one of them. It's like, "You slept with my wife," and it's like a giant soap opera, and everybody in the audience is like so enamored with it because that's real wrestling.
I mean, I know that it is a soap opera. I
can't say no.
It's one of the funniest South Parks it was.
It's really odd. Like, I enjoy it. I understand. Like, I enjoy the physical aspect of it. Don't really care about the storylines, but
no,
I do
I was
like
a big fan of like the character design and like character backstories that they came up with and things.
I don't
that.
remember.
Yeah.
That's what appealed to me more than any part of it. Was like,
when I watched.
that's cool looking.
When I would watch, it was WCW or WWF. You picked one, so everybody always had their one they went to, and I don't remember a ton of like these storylines in WCW as much.
That's because WCW didn't do as many storylines.
I think that was WWF where
Until NWO
this guy's
came
wife
around.
is sleeping with this wrestler, then this and that and that. Yeah, but even NWO, that was just kind of retardedness, like switching sides and
Whoa.
traitors.
Whoa.
I'm not talking bad about them. That was my favorite group.
Anyway, it is really odd. I mean,
yeah.
but
And to answer your question, I don't know that anybody would watch. I wouldn't.
football.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like,
This is my favorite part. This is where he scores the touchdown, but then gets let down because he drops it.
like, well, let's watch the Steelers and the Ravens tonight
No.
and see who's
How
going
you
to win.
get there doesn't matter. You just know the ending. The game itself is played however.
I'm done.
It's just how you get the ending is predetermined.
Yeah.
That's what wrestling is. You can do whatever you want during the match. That's not scripted. Anyway, who's going first?
You got first.
Yay! I am going to just roll through all five or just one at a time.
One at a time.
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
I was a big fan of him and Scott Hall, who's going to be my number two, when they were tag team partners in WO. Always enjoyed Wolfpack, all that. I don't know. I always liked the big guys that were wrestling because I was always the bigger kid. So
I'll go through my two of my five, which would be Hall and Nash. You know, depending on, do I put them as outsiders or do I want to do them in? Anyway,
Razor Ramon reference.
I like Nash being after the outsiders, and I like Hall before. So of course I like them together, but I like Razor Ramon. I mean, I liked him back then. I thought his finishing move was awesome. So.
And if you didn't know, Kevin Nash was the Super Shredder in Turtles 2.
He's in The Punisher too,
I
right?
was going to say, as the Russian. Yeah. The first punch.
No, never mind. That was somebody else.
Well,
Uh,
not the '80s one.
No. Yeah, that's true. I forgot that existed.
But I mean, I wasn't a big Diesel fan or anything like that. But
I always
See, I
enjoyed
like
watching
Diesel.
them. They were fun to watch.
yeah,
I like Diesel, but I like Diesel because he was partners with my number two person.
who you got?
First and foremost, The Undertaker. I think at this point everybody knows why.
Because you're
Death,
a weird,
darkness.
weird guy.
The Boogeyman.
What about the biker Undertaker?
No. I like The Undertaker in every aspect except the American Badass and the more recent like Mohawk version of The Undertaker. I just thought it was a stupid haircut. Or his little bob when he was growing his hair back out. Just like, stop it. My favorite version of The Undertaker was the Ministry version of The Undertaker, where he's crucifying people. I thought that was like, hey, that's pretty cool. He's just flat out evil. I like it. That's my cup of tea.
You want to knock off a second one?
Fine. Shawn Michaels. I just always liked his charisma and spirit, and thought he was an entertaining character to watch. Um, I liked Diesel as well, but Diesel was a bodyguard for him for a while in the early '90s. So
Well, Sean's on my list. Sean, I like the athleticism. Like,
he's a great wrestler,
yeah.
never quits, and yeah,
plus he did a lot. Had a lot of storylines, a lot of stuff going on with all that. The DX thing. Yeah. One of the biggest names in wrestling. He's been around forever. Who else you got?
Well, when I watched it, he was the Giant. Now he's Big Show or whatever the hell he calls him. If he still wrestles.
I don't know if he still wrestles.
I don't know. Paul White.
I know him as an actor.
The Giant. He was in Jingle All the Way. He's one of the Giant Santas. He's been in a couple things. I always enjoyed him too. Another big guy. Big fat guy, kind of.
Nice to see him live. He wasn't as tall as I thought he was.
Yeah,
because you're pretty tall though.
Yeah, but I was like 12 or something.
He's still like 7 feet tall.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess. As a kid watching wrestling on TV and stuff like that, I was like 7 foot tall, that's like to the ceiling. When you see him in person.
Yeah, but
well,
some of the
that's
guys he
normal.
fight, like, I know he went against Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is like this tall-ish.
Yeah.
Like, even some of those guys, like Shawn Michaels, isn't that big. He's probably less than 6 feet, easily.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, chokeslam, all that. I enjoyed watching him.
Just a power wrestler.
Yeah.
Big
Big brute.
For my next one, too.
Well, who you got?
Psycho Sid. He was a terrible wrestler. Terrible athlete. Not very mobile, not very athletic. So it's not someone you watched for their athletic ability. Just, he was a big dude who just kicked people around, and I really enjoyed his theme music, and like just watching his eyeball like staring around. I don't know. It just always stuck with me. I follow him on Twitter. Cool.
No, it wasn't a big Psycho Sid fan. Who you got?
You go.
Mine, Sting. Which apparently you have Sting.
I do have Sting.
Now, which version of Sting are you a fan of?
I grew up watching the blonde hair, face paint Sting.
WCW.
WCW, yeah.
And all that, it was all, yeah.
Yeah.
This thing I saw was the black-haired...
Crow.
Yeah, the Crow.
Yeah. And that lasted longer than the other Sting. Because he still wrestles as the Crow Sting.
Starrcade 97 was awesome when he made that return.
Yeah, as a character design, that Sting is the better Sting. From a just look and approach. I think as an athlete, though, the early '90s Sting is the better Sting. I mean, real easy to beat somebody up with a baseball bat. Not actually wrestling them.
Yeah, I always liked Sting when he was with, old WCW days before Ted Turner, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
But back when he had his bleach blonde hair and everything, I liked him because finisher move, thought it was pretty cool. Just thought he was interesting. And then I enjoyed it a lot when he came back as the Crow, because I liked the Crow as a movie.
Yeah.
But it was just a nice storyline at that point too. So, and stuck around forever. Stayed with WCW through the whole run, which I thought was pretty awesome. Enjoy Sting a lot. Who you got?
Scott Norton. He was in the NWO for a while. Big, rotund. I said fat guy. Apparently Anthony took offense because Scott Norton used to be a bodybuilder, which I didn't know, but he was still big.
Yeah, most Marines are fat guys now.
A big fat guy just fighting. Didn't really have much technique. He was just a big guy, used his size, he was stronger. I enjoyed watching him. He wasn't one of those big marquee. He was one of those just, here's this fight, and works its way up. I thought it was fun to watch.
Sting was on my list as my next one, so I'll go on to the fifth one. Mankind.
I like him.
Specifically Mankind, out of all of his
Incarnation.
incarnations.
You know, like Dude Love.
I did like Dude Love,
Cactus
but
Jack.
I don't care for Cactus Jack. I thought Terry Funk had the hardcore thing done. Why do I need another? Like, Mankind was crazy enough as a character anyway. It was just, why take the mask off and pretend to be crazier? To me, he just went from like crazy, sheltered, creepy guy to white trash psycho.
Well, but Cactus Jack was before, though.
Right.
So.
But I don't know that it necessarily. It wasn't as big then when
No.
Cactus Jack was around. I think
No.
the second coming of Cactus Jack was I don't know, and it's what killed off Mankind as a character too. But
Yeah.
I do like the corporate Foley with the Rock and Sock connection. I thought that whole storyline was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They're both comedic and it was good. I love the mask for Mankind.
I
That
just
was fun.
the best moments that I can remember in wrestling was the Hell in a Cell match, which I thought was great. And then when he won the title the first time was like, I was watching it at home. I remember it happening, and it was great. Like, it was Stone Cold coming in, and The Rock was in it. All the New Age Outlaws, and everybody. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. And that Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, he's in some brutal matches. Have you seen the documentary behind that's not Behind the Mask. It's him and The Rock, and they have a documentary about their. It's not Hell in a Cell, like No Holds Barred match or something. He gets handcuffed and hit in the head with the chair like 15 times. Has his
I've not seen
family
that.
on it. It's really good.
Huh. The last one I saw was where he goes around as Santa Claus to different things.
Oh,
And he acts as Santa Claus now. I'm all Santa and stuff like that. And he just recently criticized the WWE for their storylines going stale and says, we need to get back to better storylines like we did in the Attitude Era. I might start watching wrestling again if they go that route.
who's your last one?
Kind of tough. I'm sitting here trying to remember. Just people I enjoyed. I always enjoyed watching Hogan fight. Didn't watch a lot early on, but of course, in the NWO days, I enjoyed watching him fight. He didn't do it that often, but when he did,
I like Hogan. I don't know.
I liked Hogan better as a talker. Like someone to perpetuate the story.
Yeah.
Don't put him in the ring. Like, I don't want to see an old man flop around like a fish. It's like Ric Flair. It's like, I don't want to see you wrestle anymore.
but
We're
wait
done
till
here.
he enters the state of Hulkamania.
My last one is Rick Rude, which is probably random, and that was before you guys probably watched wrestling when he was popular. By the 90s, he was like a bodyguard for China, DX or something, and a manager for a little while. But I liked his attitude in the 80s, and I don't know.
Of course you did.
I like his finishing move. I thought the Rude Awakening was pretty cool. Took care of himself, built well. Like,
He was Mr. Perfect without the drugs.
but always liked Rick Rude. So
I was never a big fan, but also I knew him from just being
yeah,
I'm sure
I knew
I'd
of his past, but never.
catch maybe a little hatred from Andrew. I don't know how because I know he's a big Four Horsemen fan, but I enjoyed watching the incarnation I saw with like Benoit and
Dean
Malenko.
Malenko.
I enjoyed Dean Malenko.
Yeah, like Benoit was an awesome wrestler. I liked him a lot. I know he went crazy, and but all those guys, the Canada guys from like Stu Hart stuff, they were all great wrestlers. Bret Hart's a great wrestler. I liked him.
My younger brother was like Luger.
I mean,
I don't like Luger as a wrestler. I think it's like, human body can do that. Neat.
yeah.
With lots of drugs.
It was. He did get the job up in the torture rack once.
Yeah, I mean
It's kind of a feat to get him up there.
John Cena put all that down. I mean, he does stuff that's crazy.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I like all that stuff. And there's a lot of tag teams I enjoy a lot too.
Harlem Heat. Harlem Heat was always fun to watch.
Well, I like the Road Warriors. I like New Age Outlaws, Acolytes. That it's probably when you were watching a lot. They would just come and like slaughter people and not even like get in the ring or get counted out. They just beat guys with a chair and then they go away.
I just look at Rob and I assume he's a Chavo Guerrero fan.
Yeah.
Did Eddie Guerrero die?
Yes.
Okay. I saw something. I was like, did he actually
aneurysm?
die?
I'm not sure.
He was a brain aneurysm. I thought.
There's a lot of wrestlers that died.
Yeah.
Like before
Owen
50.
Hart.
I remember that too.
Remember that pay-per-view? The next morning, Mom woke me up and she said, Owen Hart died last night. I was like, what? Yeah, he fell from the rafter and hit his head on the turnbuckle.
Yeah, they had a
And I was like,
big in-memory thing that night on Raw.
yeah. Wasn't as moved quite by Eddie Guerrero. I just was never a big fan of Eddie Guerrero. He was a good wrestler. But
I wasn't watching wrestling a lot at that point either. But
Well, that's true.
That's why I watched it for a few years.
I didn't get into that whole Latino Heat thing and all that.
That's when Rey Mysterio was real big.
I preferred Rey Mysterio and WCW with like Juventud Guerrero and stuff like that. Before they all went and wrestled matches that made them lose their masks and they became
Normal people.
the generic, everyday, normal guys who can just do things.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to. You got questions? I have all kinds of questions.
I'm bad.
So,
Well, let's
you
go
have
through
anything?
some of your questions.
Well, I was going to try to knock out something Christmas related. Rather than go Christmas memory, do you have a favorite Christmas TV show? Like, there's specials in just about everything. There was a Saved by the Bell Christmas special, Andy Griffith, like Full House, whatever.
I said one of my questions. I wasn't going to use it for this one. Was going to be. There's a lot of dichotomy around here, and I know at school when I went to college, there was people were either Christmas Story or they were It's a Wonderful Life as their Christmas movie of choice. I was going to see which one you guys were.
Okay.
Christmas Vacation.
I agree. Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie in my opinion. It is the best. There's nothing better than electrocuting a cat underneath a chair. I've cried so many times laughing at that scene. But if you give it a choice,
I've seen a long time ago most, not all, of It's a Wonderful Life. And I've never seen A Christmas Story. I still shock people with that.
I like It's a Wonderful Life, and I hate The Christmas Story.
I like Christmas Story. I prefer It's a Wonderful. Once I saw it, I was like, "This is such a better movie."
Like the other day, Christine
they're not at all
was
related, but
talking about wanting Miracle on 34th Street. I was like, which one? The original? I don't know. The one with the girl with
Matilda.
Yeah, that's what she said. I was like,
Mara
no, how
Wilson.
about the original one from like the 50s or the 40s?
I'd like to hang out with Mara Wilson now.
Well, yeah, she's hot now.
Anyway. Alright, back to your favorite Christmas TV show.
Yeah, do you have one? Flintstones Christmas. Do you guys remember? I was asking my wife. She didn't know. There was a Brady Bunch Christmas. Have you guys seen that? Okay.
No.
Probably the same.
I mean, I probably did. Just
I've never seen the Star Wars Christmas.
I haven't seen that. I mean, I don't know that the Charlie Brown Christmas is an episode. It's probably a half hour. So I mean, so I guess that would be mine. But it's just kind of random.
I always enjoyed the any of the Simpsons Christmas episodes. They weren't anywhere as good as I thought they could have done something similar to the Treehouse Horrors, but
Do they actually do one every year? Like
kinda like have just a special, like maybe like 3 little minis in it. But for the longest time, every year I've watched in the season 3 South Park, they have the Mr. Hanky's Christmas Classics episode, and mainly just them singing Christmas music, and I've watched it for a long time now.
The Always Sunny Christmas episode is pretty funny too. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. They get in a fight at the mall with Santa.
seems reasonable.
It's not a spoiler. I can't even get into what happens.
There's a couple American Dads too that are good Christmas episodes. And Futurama for that, which is just stuff
I
I've
guess I
seen.
kind of just try to avoid Christmas special stuff. Like, all the time complaining at work, stop playing Christmas music. I hate when you play Christmas music.
I'm sad that the sound system at work doesn't work and I don't get to hear Christmas music. I actually appreciate it, not the new crap, but older stuff.
I'm just tired of hearing Santa baby.
You're going to the wrong stores. Don't worry, I'm sure your new Christmas favorite movie will probably be Krampus.
I want to see that movie so bad. I want to contact the guy who does the Krampus walks, or dressed up as the Krampus in all city, and I want to be like, let's organize a Krampus walk now. Let's do this. Like, hardcore. Like, let's scare children on Christmas. This is the best part of Halloween. Why not continue it into the most wonderful time of the year?
Give you the last question, and then we'll call it a day. You believe in ghosts? Rob has to ponder the mystery of the universe.
No, because I swear I saw things when I was a kid, all the time. But right now, I would say no.
I am a logic and fact-based person. I would need some sort of evidence to prove to me that would be real, not just random people like, I seen it, and just pointing. Or psychics saying they're real, like I need tangible.
I don't believe video footage, any of that. I mean, when I was a kid, I saw some things that I swear were supernatural or paranormal, but who knows? I could have been just
not ghost related. I've only
imbalanced as a kid.
I've only ever seen one thing I couldn't explain. That was it.
My personal, like, what logic is there behind it? My
Why
thing
would
is,
ghosts hang out?
well, it's like you probably either believe in an afterlife or you don't. So if you don't believe in an afterlife, then there wouldn't be a ghost. If you do believe in an afterlife, it doesn't involve hanging out on Earth. It involves you going to heaven or hell. Neither of which involves you hanging out on Earth.
Unless you're Catholic and you can go to purgatory.
My Uncle Bill
Or you're
doesn't want to
waiting.
just hang out with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
I have a great aunt who's died and is hanging around and she keeps moving things. She's trying to remind me to feed her cat. It's like, come on.
yeah. So those are my two logical steps, and it's like, well, either way, I don't.
No room for
Somebody that's hanging out at my house.
the guy right here, standing here doing this to me.
Yeah. So that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
I don't have anything else.
All right, it's been a blast. Enjoyed it. Follow us on Facebook,
YouTube, Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Periscope if you want to see when we go live. And yeah, hit us up on iTunes. Give us some ratings. We should have how many episodes up now?
7.
We have 7 up on iTunes. So I'll put this one is on iTunes. So hopefully the audio on the last one is much improved over the first ones. We have a new setup, and so far I think it seems to be working better. So give us a listen. If you like any of that, share us with your friends.